up for the performers there with their drums, with the Prime Minister in between them. What an opportunity for the performers. He's walking up. Here's another troupe. And all these troupes have been arranged by the Arts and Culture Department, Government of Meghalaya. The Prime Minister taking a very close look at the performers and their dresses, and giving a photo op to each one of these performers and all of these groups. The Prime Minister seems to be taking keen interest in the drummers, and there you are, he's taking the drumming sticks from another drummer here, and he's trying his hand out at the drums here. Governor of Meghalaya, Mr. Shanmuganathan, also taking keen interest. The Prime Minister now taking a stroll through the heritage village at Mawphlang with his entourage of security personnel and media personnel, and of course representatives of the Mawphlang Darbar, who are the best people to be around to give him a first-hand knowledge of the historical knowledge about Mawphlang, and also the practices that the community here are so proud of. And there are a number of monoliths over here in the heritage village, monoliths are usually constructed or put up every time there is a historical event in the society. Every monolith that is put up by the society marks an event, an important event in the history of the society, be it cultural history or maybe historical in nature otherwise also. The sacred groves, as I was mentioning earlier, are a huge gene pool where plants, trees, saprophytes, epiphytes of different varieties are preserved and has been done over hundreds of years. Inside the sacred grove, there are monoliths constructed, and there are other constructions also which have historical importance, where kings held their meetings, and the number of stones represent the number of ministers, or mintris as they are referred to locally. There's a lot of history that goes on inside, and a lot of people in the modern times are actually doing their research, their PhDs on the history of the sacred grove. This is actually a good exercise because it would document the sacred groves and its customary practices. The Prime Minister is returning back, as I can see from the distance. He's taken a long time, and which really shows his interest in the state of Meghalaya, its cultural richness, and the plans that he might be having for the advancement of this entire region. Yesterday, he was here in the morning session attending the 65th plenary of the Northeastern Council. And later in the evening, he addressed the public at a public gathering in the 5th ground, Apollo Grounds. And in both places, the Prime Minister emphasized on the need for improving communication between the rest of India and the Northeast. He mentioned improving road connectivity, air connectivity, rail connectivity, and that wasn't enough. He took it one step further and even mentioned digital connectivity. And recently, we remember how the Prime Minister had inaugurated high bandwidth data connection through Bangladesh to Tripura to serve the entire Northeast. He also mentioned how close Northeast is to his heart and how strategically important the Northeast is to the entire country. He has repeatedly been mentioning how the Northeast has to be taken forward and brought at par with the rest of the country as far as development is concerned. And one of the ways that development can be accelerated is by improving the communication network in the Northeast. Other than that, social programs, cultural programs, programs that uplift the rural community, these are all very close to his heart. He also mentioned the huge sum of money that has been allocated to the development of the Northeast in the last budget. From here, as I was mentioning, the Prime Minister will be proceeding towards another site of tourist interest, the Elephant Falls. The Elephant Falls gets its name because of the pattern that the water, falling water, the Elephant Falls he actually already visited on his way here. And I was mentioning it gets its name from the pattern that the water takes while falling, cascading down the rocky formations. There are a number of tourist sites of interest for anyone visiting Shillong or Meghalaya for that matter. And this time taken off by the Prime Minister to visit the sacred groves here at Mawphlang certainly is going to boost the tourism potential of Shillong, of Meghalaya. It's not that Shillong is an unknown tourist spot, but the visit of a Prime Minister is the visit of a Prime Minister. It makes a whole lot of difference. And the rains have held. Though the clouds are low and it is still dark, very thick, black, dark clouds, but the rain has held. This was, of course, the Prime Minister's first visit to Meghalaya, capital Shillong, after taking up the job of the Prime Minister of the country. And I'm sure this is not going to be the last. I'm sure he will have good stories to tell. Yesterday he has spoken to and interacted with representatives of self-help groups. He has seen the handwork, particularly the bamboo and cane work that the local artisans of this place have an expertise in. And I'm sure the Prime Minister taking a short tea break. Wonderful weather to have hot tea, really. The temperature outside would be less than 20, 17, 18 maybe. There's a light breeze blowing. Perfect weather for a hot cup of tea. And with the entire crowd moving out with the Prime Minister, the visit of the Prime Minister to the sacred groves at Mawphlang comes to an end. Though the visit is almost over, the memory will remain, and I'm sure the visit will certainly provide a lot of food for thought on how to improve this place, bring about changes, make it more attractive, bring more attention to other parts of the country on nature conservation, and how the community here traditionally have preserved the natural assets and today made it the cynosure of all eyes, not only in the northeast or in the country, but the world over.
I can't see anything. This is PGM mount. Look at PGM mount.
The Prime Minister there having another view of another performance of local dancers there, and actually taking a video to carry back home as a cherished memory. You can see the local dancers in their traditional regalia. This particular dance is from the Meghlaya district of Meghalaya. The performances actually depict different occasions. War dances are different from dances which are post-harvest, or even dances which are pre-harvest. The Prime Minister really taking time out to have a good view of the performances here. And as I had mentioned earlier, the rain had held, and just as about the... Now there were the Prime Minister having a talk with the performers. And who knows, in the next Man Ki Baat, Meghalaya might be mentioned, or some of the experiences that the Prime Minister had in Shillong would just be there in the next Man Ki Baat. And Man Ki Baat is a very popular program that has, caught the imagination of the youth. It is a program where the youth really feels very close to the Prime Minister, being able to talk to him, send their messages. And there we can see the Prime Minister about to leave. Prime Minister leaving the amphitheatre at Mawphlang Sacred Groves and the Mawphlang Heritage Village. And this is a wonderful thing. I was mentioning that as long as the Prime Minister was here, the rain had held, and just as the Prime Minister is about to leave, it's beginning to drizzle again. And really, there is this strange connection between the rain gods and this visit of the Prime Minister. Another selfie, maybe. And these are all going to be cherished moments for the people of Shillong and Meghalaya. Such rare opportunities for the people here. A Prime Minister's visit doesn't happen very often, and certainly everyone looks forward to it. He's about to board his There you can see the traditional heads in their orange turbans. There is a group photograph now, a photo op for all the traditional heads and the people who actually keep and maintain this Mawphlang Sacred Grove and all the arena here. The dancers are also joining in, adding color to the whole photograph. These certainly are going to be cherished moments for everybody participating in this event. Two days of hectic activity in the city in connection connected with the visit of the Prime Minister. The sacred groves and the Mawphlang sacred groves here and the heritage village is also the site for the Monolith Festival, an annual event here in Shillong. This has over the years become very popular, drawing crowds from different parts not only of India but also from different parts of the world. It is a veritable salad pot, as we could say, where cultures don't mix, but the different cultures stand out, showing their own beauty as part of this diversity that India is. Every year, the Monolith Festival is organized around March, April at springtime. The best season perhaps to visit Shillong, just after winter and before the rains start. But in Shillong, we never complain about the rains. We absolutely love the rains here. There's a huge group photograph there. And there you can see the Prime Minister alighting the steps. And moving towards his cavalcade. And the drizzle here beginning to increase. Very soon everyone is going to run for cover. And with the Prime Minister boarding his car, the visit of the Prime Minister to the Mawphlang Sacred Groves and the Heritage Village comes to an end. Though the visit comes to an end, the memory will linger on, and I'm sure there will be a lot of